Allegedly, we're live. Let's see what Twitch says. Oh, Twitch says we're live. Hey, bonus.
Okay.
All right. Chat room, let us know when you can see and hear us. Here we go.
I mean, we kind of ditched folks for a few weeks, so they might just not be here. It's, kind of like you cancel a party a bunch of times.
Yeah.
All right, thank you.
We got sound.
All right.
Say, how do podcast? What do?
How do podcast? How do we podcast?
How do?
Oh, no, don't do this, Discord.
Oh, no. What is it, love?
Okay.
Okay, excellent. All right. Well, folks can see and hear us, so
That's good. Something works. Unlike
you
us.
let me know when I can do a countdown.
Hang on. Yeah. Just checking frames and everything else.
I need notes so that I know what I'm saying.
Right?
I did set notes, but one moment.
Oh, no. I need to open said notes.
I set the notes.
Yeah, you did.
I see people milling about in these notes, so these must be the notes.
Yes, because a few things, we had two 408s. Because we had 408 ready to go, and then that's when Ted had the really bad headache.
Let's see if I can get a better background. Change video background.
We had a headache. We had people on vacation. We had people out. Who knows? We'll figure out if we can even. Okay. Discord.
Hey, the Northwest needed to be visited by both you and myself.
Right?
Ask the pods.
It's backwards, though.
Or as we say in Canada, it's the Pacific Southwest.
True. So my friend who lives near Portland, she's like, I'm annoyed by the Pacific Northwest. It's on the West Coast. It's already Pacific.
Mm-hmm.
We don't need to hear ourselves.
No,
it looks fine on the
I
screen.
need to hear you.
Yes.
Okay. There's the theme. All right.
Interesting bit of magic. So my background looks correct on the
It's
screen
getting
for me,
inverted.
but yours is not.
I'm going to switch it back.
Yeah. There, now I can see yours okay. Let's see if that
right.
echoes the stream.
I flipped mine so it looks right on the screen.
it looks good on the screen. Ken's looks good. Mew, yours looks good because the console 47's in the lower left. So
It's weird on my screen. It's not. So that's
no, when it displays, it's backwards.
Yeah. So I had inverted mine already, but then I backwards
reverted it?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
All right. Cool.
You were not prepared.
So as soon as Mew's ready.
I guess I'm as close as it's going to be.
All right. Going live in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. On this episode of the AIE Podcast.
Seasons are changing in Diablos.
Plurals. Fridays are now a mixed bag.
Guys, it's so hot outside. Is anyone else craving ice cream, Citadel?
And you are invited to a Baggins's birthday bash.
And we have one Lars here to talk to us about AIE and WoW Classic Hardcore.
Hardcore! all that and more coming up now.
Bringing you the latest news from the AIE gaming community from planet Earth and beyond. This is the AIE Podcast.
Welcome to episode 408, take 2 of the podcast celebrating you, the Aaliyah Octa-S gaming community. The Die Has Been Podcast. This is Makala. To my left, downstairs, and with a puppy on his lap, is Tetsemi.
I am with a puppy on my lap. Double check. Yes. How do you not notice 22.5 pounds of puppy? Also, I have a new game, so therefore I have a new spreadsheet.
Only one new game?
Only one new game that requires a spreadsheet currently. I'm not tracking anything in Baldur's Gate 3 that requires a spreadsheet.
Unlike some of our friends who are tracking how many people
Yes.
they've slept with. Anyways.
Yes.
And 2 states over is Mew Cow.
Greetings, guildies, and man, my Baldur's Gate was a different experience then, clearly.
Clearly. All right. Anyways, and this week we are joined by our very special friend and guest, Lars, who's here to talk to us about AIE and WoW Classic Hardcore. Welcome!
Great. One country below. And
Yeah.
things going well down here.
Yeah, we're all still in the really hot zone, though.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Which
Yes,
is why
although
we-
this has been the first day in like months that it's not hit 100.
That
Oh.
should be later in the week for us, actually.
Yeah.
When I took my hike this morning, I'm like, all right, this is the last really bad day.
Yeah. So that'll be nice.
Excellent. All right. So, guys, we want to apologize. It's been a hot minute. We had a few delays. We were ready to podcast a month ago, and Tet had a horrible headache. We were ready to podcast the following week. It was going to be, or 2 weeks later, it was going to be a host show. Mew was off enjoying a vacation somewhere cooler.
Yeah.
So, but that's okay. We are back from our little summer break, and we have, I guess, so we are good to go. So, like I said, it's been a hot minute. I'm going to go with how long it's been since we've talked. Lars, what have you been up to since it's been the longest?
It's been a long time. Semester started here at my university. We're about 6 weeks in and having a relaxing semester so far. Last year I was almost double teaching load. So now it's
my
nice to be
gosh.
back to normal and playing games again, including
Excellent.
Baldur's Gate. But I just keep restarting and restarting. So I don't need a spreadsheet yet because I just keep restarting.
Well, yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Awesome. Awesome. And Mew, my friend, what have you been up to?
Oh, too many things to list, honestly. It's been so long. So the first time we were supposed to be back was me checking in after FanFest, which that would take way too long to really recap. I guess the fast thing is it was even hotter than it is here where we are now, which is unimaginable. It was 116 in the line outside in the direct sun. So that was fun.
Those are nerds. You don't put them in direct sun.
Yeah, but even with that, it was still better than BlizzCon. Fun was had by all. It was a great experience, and it made me miss the things outside of BlizzCon, things that happen, rotating around it.
And
Yeah, all that stuff. Like I definitely missed having all that stuff. It was a great experience. Got the first peek of the new expansion coming next year for Final Fantasy 14. It was great. I managed to dodge the COVID that was spread by patient zero.
Who self-identified for some reason. Idiot.
Yeah.
oh gosh, did someone
And
go?
bragged
and-
about it and was
You're kidding me.
No, they made
bragged about it. For one,
Yeah, they made
They-
a 10-panel mini comic about their experience at FanFest and basically called themselves out as Patient Zero.
yeah,
Oh,
and feel sorry for me. Look how thoughtful I was of this and that. It's like, oh yes, I was deathly sick, so I did some NyQuil, and then I went into the con, and then my NyQuil wore off, and oh, I feel horrible. Maybe I should get myself tested. Oh, look, I have COVID. Hey, friend that came with us in the same room and has been sharing the same air with us, you didn't have a ticket right here. You can have mine. I'm going home. So spread COVID to the con.
Wait, flipping day. Okay, all right.
So but other than that, it was great.
Yeah.
Yes. And let's see. After that, yes, said vacation earlier. Took a trip to the Pacific Northwest. I think we were just talking about this. And
Or
enjoyed.
southwest, or northwest, depending on your country.
Yeah. I enjoyed temperatures that weren't over 100. It was pleasant. We arrived there and it was in like the low 80s, and you were like, "What is this?" It's pleasant to be outside. It
Yeah.
doesn't hurt to breathe. It's I enjoy outside. This is nice. And it does this fun thing that even if it does get hot out there, it drops down to like 60 at night. So it's like,
Lovely. Yeah. Yeah.
yes,
Nice
yeah.
and nice.
Yeah. So that was nice. We were just pretty much just reminding ourselves that we'd probably rather be living there than here.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, we just, we actually just kind of did vacation-y things. We went to the county fair, which was fun. We went to a bowling alley and an arcade, just simple stuff. We didn't do anything too crazy. We just, just kind of vibed. And then yesterday, more recently, we did a Star Trek escape room. So that was a ton of fun. It was a one Mrs. Mew birthday yesterday.
Yay! Happy birthday, Mrs. Mew!
So for her birthday, she wanted to do an escape room, and they happened to have a Star Trek one. And we've kind of been on a Star Trek bent lately. We're currently in the first season of Discovery, and enjoying it. And before that, we had done Picard, and
We had to catch
also
up on all of it.
yeah. Well, she's still going through a lot of the TNG stuff.
Neat. That's
yeah,
that's a fun thing to go through.
Yeah, so she's like, as she goes through it, she's like, oh, that thing in Picard. Oh, that thing in Picard.
Right,
so
right.
it's kind of funny to watch that happen. But yeah, we've of course been watching Lower Decks off and on, but we're pausing it because we're doing Discovery, and then at some point Discovery's going to kick off to Strange New Worlds.
Right,
and then
right.
at some
I
point,
hear Strange New Worlds is just amazing.
It's what I hear too. And the thing is I've heard people saying that they didn't like Discovery. Discovery's been great. Like it's I don't see but people are hating about it. It's great. It's the main character. She's a really interesting character. She's a human that was raised by Vulcans.
Mm-hmm.
So that's it's kind of like
the opposite of a Spock.
Well, no, it's I mean, yes, kind of technically, but also no. Because
right, yeah.
Spock is also trying to come into touch with the fact that he's half human.
Nice.
And
yeah.
by the way, this is Spock's stepsister.
Oh, very cool. All right.
So,
awesome.
Because her dad is Sarek. So,
okay.
So it's like, huh? I don't remember him mentioning that he had an adopted sister.
It's been retconned. It's fine. Or alternate timelines, whatever. We're good.
Yeah. So at some point, I'm assuming we're probably going to meet up with him, and then Strange New Worlds happens, and then Strange New World has a crossover with Lower Decks. So we have all this stuff we need to watch to then get back into Lower Decks as well. Because as my dad of all people has said, he thinks Lower Decks is the best Star Trek there's been.
Yeah.
So that's high praise.
He's not the only one.
Yeah. So yeah, that's we've just kind of been all about the Star Trek, which is nice. It's nice to get breaks because we're all about the Star Wars, and we need to give that a little bit of a break. I know there's some good stuff waiting. There's Ahsoka just came out. I don't think we've not watched the latest Mandalorian because it's just time.
Yeah.
But it's nice to just give it a nice rest so we can come back fresh and enjoy it.
Yep.
Very cool.
Yeah. And then that's not even for gaming. Like with gaming, Baldur's Gate 3 happened, which I'm sure Tets will probably talk more about. Or are you going to be talking more about Starfield?
No, actually, a third game that you
something
had.
else.
Yep.
Oh wow!
Me and Ryan have been playing.
Yep.
Oh okay. So yeah, I did enjoy Baldur's Gate. Jumped right in. Thoroughly enjoyed it because I've never really had the my time of the day doesn't match up well with people doing D&Ds.
Right.
So this has been my first, like, it actually kind of feels. I mean, obviously,
feels
I don't
like a tabletop
know for
game.
true.
No, it
does feel like it.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I have like the Escape from Castle Ravenloft board game, which is kind of like gives you the D&D experience, but on a board game.
Right.
But this feels like the game version of that.
Right.
And it has all the rolls and all the has a DM whispering in your ear and just.
Yep.
It's been a lot of fun, but then Starfield happened, and so I have my camera off now, but I have like a whole dedicated section to Fallout over there, and Starfield has basically been Fallout in space. With it's basically I like to think of it as Fallout and Mass Effect smashed together, because they're leaning a little bit more towards Mass Effect for just the aesthetic, and also it kind of feels like the companions as well. Like they're not the Fallout companions that are just kind of there. Like these actually have a little bit more interaction. and a little bit more, you do stuff with them, that sort of thing. So yeah, it's been a nice experience, and I've essentially, since Starfield has come out, that's what I've been trying to do, and whenever I have free time. So tons of Starfield, lots of pew pew in space, as they say, the stealth space archers, kinds of fun stuff there. And yeah, I've not had any major bugs like I've heard some people say they have.
Mhm.
It's been nothing but fun. So yeah, and that's not to say if I'll talk more about Final Fantasy 14 in their section,
Yeah,
but
absolutely, yeah.
but yeah, other than that, I mean, that's pretty much been it. It's been more than a month, so it's just too much to really
Lots
go
of stuff.
into.
Yep. Yep. So
that's-
yes, this is Kenny's comment, which is her solo Baldur's Gate 3 characters hanging out in a camp for a while due to Starfield.
Yes. Yep. The Fallout Mass Effect vibes. Yep, it is.
Pretty strong.
You can do whatever you want. Like there are no rails in that game. Like there is a main story if you want it. It's actually a lot better than their previous stuff. Like it's much like a Skyrim where you're just like, oh, there's dragons. Nope, I'm going that way. See ya. So yeah, that's Starfield in a nutshell.
Awesome. All right, and what have you been up to?
All the things.
Yeah.
A lot of things. The main thing that I've been focused on is a game called Polio, which came out. It's a free-to-play with a cash shop that is pure cosmetics only. They added their first big event, which is the Magi Market, which takes place at night in the game. It's kind of like a downsized Dark Moon Fair.
Okay.
Where the townsfolk go and staff the fair. There's a couple of quest lines that you do in there, as well as there's a game called the Choppa. It's like the Choppa catch. Basically, all the pets get loose, and you have to run around and capture them. And as you get them, you get tickets to then turn in and buy stuff. So it's really fun. But they're doing really well. So I've been enjoying that. There's a whole line of relationships, that you build up with the villagers. There's 18 different villagers that you can build relationships with, and you talk to them. As the relationship builds, there's more stories, and then some of them are also romanceable, so you can have a romance with some of them. And then one of them will become your mentor or your shep, and you get adopted into their family. So there's just a whole lot of stuff to do. There's fishing, gathering, hunting, crafting. You can make furniture. You can farm crops, and then the big thing is you get your own house. You start out with a tent, but then as you save up funds, you get your own house, and you can custom add hallways and rooms onto them. There's a 7x7, a 9x9, and an 11x11 room. You can put porches and doors and fireplaces and just huge plot of land to just build out your ultimate house. And then you go in and you can decorate the floor, the wallpaper, put shelves up, put bookcases up, display stuff on all those things. So there's a lot to it. And
Very cool.
And you get to make all the furniture as well, or you can buy it from Tish's shop in town. But it's more fun to say, no, I'm going to make all this. And as you make stuff, you unlock more recipes. You make that, you unlock more recipes. Mm-hmm. So yeah, it's a lot of fun. But I've been doing that, and then I've been doing the dating simulator that seems to have a lot of combat in it, called Baldur's Gate 3.
Yeah, I don't understand the whole combat thing. Yeah. That's what I hear.
Yeah.
So having a lot of fun. I'm playing a halfling rogue, and basically talking my way out of fights all the way through it as much as possible. There's of course stuff you can't talk your way out of, and in which case the rogue immediately becomes a sniper, will move into position, take a snipe shot, and then immediately move out of position, hide, and let the rest of the group pick up the the
Absolutely.
thing. So I'm running, fighter, cleric, barbarian, cleric, and warlock. So along with my rogue, and having a lot of fun doing that. Haven't fell victim to any of the patch bugs or anything like that. Thankfully, I'm playing it slow enough that I haven't gotten ahead of the curve,
Right.
where you're running into
Yeah.
the patch bugs. And I purposely have sworn off mods until I get a complete playthrough, because there are people that have been bitten by the hot fixes screwing up mods, and then their games won't load.
Okay,
So-
yeah. Yeah, we know
Yeah.
those.
So just not messing with that till I get through. But it is tactical, it is story, it is exploration. It represents a lot of the tabletop chaos and party fun that you find sitting down with people. Ryan, my daughter, and I both have the game right now, and then we're going to get it for her girlfriend and for McCullough, and then we're going to do a 4-player playthrough and have fun with that once we get.
Honestly, shouldn't I have it? Because I tried it in beta.
I think you bought it in early access, but I have to see which account
Yeah.
it's on. If it's on your
Yeah.
account.
Oh, you're right. It might be on yours. Yeah.
So we may bought it on my account and then
Yeah.
use the family sharing part of Steam so you could play it. But we'll
Yeah,
see.
yeah. I'll take a look and see that.
You need your own copy if you want to play together.
Yeah.
Exactly. So
But in
Yeah,
any
no.
case, we're gonna buy a second copy. Got it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah. No.
go ahead.
So yeah, that game is like I said, I don't truly know D&D, and just watching the 1,500 ways you can do a thing.
Yes.
It's just like the fact that they've managed to code that into a game.
Yeah.
Because it's because in the real world you have a DM and you can explain your plan to the DM, and the DM can help you figure it out, right?
Yeah.
Or they can help you, or they can put holes into it. Say, no,
Or they
this
can-
is why
exactly.
it's not going to work.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. Like, this is not going to work. No, 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 no. Yes, no, yes, no. That's cool. I'm going to help you figure out a way to make that work. But the game can kind of it's you've got I saw one thing where there was a rogue that failed to picklock a door, so the barbarian picked them up and threw them to the door.
Yes.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
So
Exactly. Honestly, that is
Yeah.
very much like yeah. That's all. That happens all the time in an RPG.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When you're in tabletop, like, okay, I've screwed up this roll. Fine, I'm just gonna break this thing down.
yeah, and it's amazing how many different ways you can burn yourself alive unexpectedly.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
100%. You can
Also
set
like
yourself on
D&D.
fire.
Got it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's
But
like-
the thing is, the Taliesin did a really good video on this. Trust the dice. If you fail something with the dice, let it go, because
Let it go.
it will advance the story in a different way, and may end up being more interesting than the way you had things planned.
Oh, sometimes failing is like the best thing you can do.
Yeah. Well, there was, and I won't spoil any plot points, but there was one part where I went to go get a thing done, which ended up separating my character from the rest of the party, and then having to solo a fight, which they did, but because of where I got put, because of the getting separated from the party, it gave me access to, through searching around, I found a back entrance to a locked vault that normally you could not get into from the front because it's too busy and too guarded. Even trying to talk your way through is very difficult. So I could get in, clean out the vault, and get out of there with no one the wiser, and the people in the front of the vault still thought they were, it was full of everything. And yeah, no, it's just amazing. So yeah, just trust the dice, let it happen. And other than that, I have downloaded Starfield. It's on my hard drive. I have not fired it up because I know, much like any Bethesda game, as soon as you start it, you're like, oh, I'll just do the opening
Do
quest.
this. Yeah.
Why is it
yeah,
2
and then-
a.m.?
No.
Why is it 2
Yeah,
a.m.?
yeah.
Yeah. It's you'll spend 2 hours creating your character, and then you're gonna spend another 2 hours figuring out which paths you want to take, and then you're gonna get a bunch of stuff, and then you're gonna spend 3 hours trying to arrange your inventory just right. And yeah. But But
Okay. And Ken will be right back. His system
Pizza's
crashed.
ready?
So.
Oh, or his pizza's ready.
Yep.
yes.
So that I really, other than doing the sanctuary in Final Fantasy 14, I really haven't, because I've caught up on all the quest lines and everything. I wasn't interested in the weapon grind really in 14. It was too much. Like, I'll do a grind if it's going to be fun, but
Right.
it was just like, go do all this. Okay, now go do. And I'm like, no, I'm done. So I'm waiting for patch 6.5, but we'll talk about that in the Final Fantasy news. So that is what I've been up to. Oh, and then pen and paper. Do you want to cover in person, and I'll cover the Call of Cthulhu?
Sure.
Okay. So, because we're in 2 games together. So, in pen and paper, we are doing the Wild West version of Call of Cthulhu. What's the...
It's Down Darker Trails.
Yeah, it's called Down Darker Trails. And so it's Cthulhu, Call of Cthulhu in the old Wild West. And
Yep.
I am playing...
It's like Deadlands without magic.
Yeah. I am playing a former con man that got caught, thrown into, was going to get thrown into jail, or they said, or you can go participate in the Indian Wars out west instead, and so ended up serving in the army, and then based on all the experience that he had there, ended up becoming a preacher, and so now he is basically patterned after Shepherd Book from Firefly. He is the preacher with the gun, and yeah. So dealing with all that fun. We are currently trying to figure out who upset the spirits in this area where they're trying to put the railroad through between Santa Fe and the little town we're in. They're trying to burrow through or tunnel through a mountain, and people are disappearing from the camp. The camp's not working anymore, and McCullough is playing a spiritualist, a medium, and found out that the spirits are upset. And then we did some investigation, and yeah, it's all starting to go downhill from there.
Real quick.
Yeah. So, but it's a lot of fun. We're having fun with that.
Yep.
What about you, McCullough?
Yep. So add on to the character. She's a very rich girl from Boston. Very rich. So it's kind of fun playing, kind of prissy, but when it talks like the spirit, dealing with ghosts, she's very kind of upfront with it. Well, the ghosts say this, and everyone kind of looks at her strangely. It's kind of fun. So what's going on? So our in-person game. We finally wrapped up Thursday. Or back to Thursday night. So Thursday nights. In the beginning of March 2020, we decided to take a few weeks off. Because we weren't sure what's going on. I believe our dear friend Mills' words were, maybe we should take a few weeks off until this all blows over. So we fired up again really recently. So that game is Tet and I, our best friend Keek, Kinney, her husband, our friend Tao, and our friend Mia, who's the DM. First time playing, so I'd be the DM. So it makes it kind of challenging, but fun. Because when the DM doesn't know the rules really well, you can't rules lawyer.
Mm-hmm.
So we recently assisted lots of ghosts going on. A ghost, whose area had kind of been disturbed because it was an area with a lot of war. And there was a death cult that was putting the spirits to rest, including the spirits of the young kids who would, were there. But that means that it was taking away all of its friends. So that was upsetting things quite a bit. So we found where it was buried. We put him to rest. So it definitely a lot of problem solving. But the funny thing was, this is a plot line we had started right as COVID was starting, right? And we had gotten beaten up so badly just prior to this in a forest with a tree and will-o-wisps. And then we pretty much went directly back to that battle. I'm like, this fight was so bad that it started, we had to take 3 years off.
Yep.
It was funny. Also, by the way, Tet is also playing a character named Book.
A cleric named Book.
Tet has a theme. Its character's named Book.
Maybe.
Maybe. So now we're starting. So we did that. Now we're starting on a new adventure where we're going to investigate the Destrun River is being turned to blood. So that's about it. That's those two pen and papers. Star Wars. Yeah, it's a bit of a mess, but we all finally made our lightsabers because we now have a whole party of Force sensitives. And my character so far is really funny when you're the most moral person of the character and you're at 32 morality about to follow the dark side because my dice hate me in that game.
Yep.
But that's okay. We have a kind of a path back, which means I have to limit myself, my power. And we are currently tracking down information on a group of Force users. Who, they're a bit fanatics, which is also one of those members of of that particular order is my character's wife's sought to be dead brother. So more family drama. So that is, and then also lots of games interrupted by Baldur's Gate 3 talk.
Yes.
Many games, kind of like their whelps. All right, so we're gonna very quickly go into this week's news, and then we're gonna talk about WoW Hardcore, WoW Classic Hardcore.
All right. Here we go.
AIE News.
All right. Also, watch Ahsoka. It's really good. I mean,
Yeah,
Rebels season 5. Yep. In community news, since we haven't gone through this in a while, mandatory fun nights where the fun is mandatory, but the attendance is not. Are you going to help? You're helping?
Yes, Hobie's helping.
All right.
And there are some changes to the schedule,
Yep.
by the way. So
Sunday, guess what? That's today. You get a day off. Monday, Guild
Woo!
Wars 2 at 9:30 p.m. Eastern. Also, STO at 10 p.m. Eastern. Tuesdays, SOTOR, 9 p.m. Eastern. Wednesdays, HFO, Mythic Plus Mayhem, and WoW at 8 p.m. Eastern. Thursdays, board game nights, first and third Thursdays at 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Central. Friday, ESO, 9 p.m. Eastern. Friday, Final Fantasy XIV Magical Miscellaneous Tour at 9 p.m. Eastern. Saturday, busy day. Lord of the Rings Online at 8:30 p.m. Eastern. Final Fantasy Map Night at 9:30 p.m. Eastern. WoW Classic Hardcore at 9:30 p.m. Eastern. And also New Braid in Retail WoW at 11 p.m. Eastern.
See, that's why you need Sunday off.
Right? Exactly. Just to recover.
Pretty much.
Yep. Alrighty. And just to catch you guys up on all the guild podcasts we have a ton of them. Want to know where to find them? Well, look no further down below. First, we of course have the SWTOR Escape podcast with Max and Seema. They're over at newoverlords.com under SEPC. We also have Behind the Games podcast with the Jeff, aka Max and Seema. So we've got the two versions, two flavors.
Actually, it's kind of merged now.
Is it?
They've kind of shifted to be just the New Overlords podcast. I was talking with Jeff and
excellent.
Seema, and the gaming behinds just wasn't really generating traffic so much, even though I sent a few of my students that way. But yeah, they've renamed, and I joined the other week, so it was fun.
Yes,
but it's going really well.
He was on the last one, so yes. We will.
So
I will get
right.
that. I will get that sorted out.
Yeah,
Excellent.
Sorry, I should have got that.
That's okay. That's okay. We and it's been a hot minute since we did all this, so
It was correct on the last episode.
Yeah. Also, the actual behind the scenes name is New Overlords Podcast Experience, or Nope.
Nope.
Oh, I love it.
there
Oh
you
my
go.
gosh, it's amazing.
Nope.
Excellent pun.
Alrighty. In non-New Overlords news, we have Working Class Nerds, Marcus and Nick, Not Safe for Life podcast over at workingclassnerdscom.wordpress.com.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have Boards and Swords, Chris and Philip at boardsandswords.com. We have Dr. Gameology with Dr. Daniel Kaufman over at drgameology.com. And then we have STO Fleet Action Report with Greebog and Nicodix. That is at YouTube, and look for at Fleet Action Report. And of course, we have a podcast Reborn, which is a Final Fantasy XIV community podcast, although they seem to be distracted by Baldur's Gate 3 as well.
Hey, you know what? That
figure.
kind of works for them, though, because it's a bit off topic and a little blue.
Yes, that and lots of COVID, because unfortunately,
Megan
went
got
to the same.
Yep.
Yeah,
Oh.
she went. Yeah, she was one of the unfortunate at FanFest to catch the lovely shared COVID. But you can find them at bonusroll.gg under a podcast Reborn, and listen into their shenanigans.
Just not with your children. All right. And in Nomads news, Diablo 4 AIE activity in the game has greatly decreased as seasonal play has been concluded by many, and they're awaiting the new Season of Blood, which starts on 17 October. Fun information at blizzards.com. Also, there is some patch notes for you to catch up on. Apps are still being accepted by the clan, however, will only be approved if the requester posts their Battle.net ID to the public AIE Discord channel at Diablo. So if you have friends or family wishing to join, make sure they post in that channel before or soon after submitting the in-game application. Diablo 3, the next season for D3 begins on Friday, September 15th, so Friday. This will not be the last season for the game. More information about the upcoming season release and future plans is at the Diablo blog as well. Look for Season 29, Vision of Enmity preview. AIE has both a community and a clan channel for D3, has both a community and a clan for D3. If you'd like an invite to either one or both, please speak to the public AIE Discord at Diablo channel as well.
All right. And in WoW news, New Braid did time walking in Ulduar on Saturday, and guess what? They had two different people get rare mount drops in the quest reward bags. They got both Mimron's Head and Invincible. Good Lord, people, go buy lottery tickets.
Absolutely. Amazing.
How did they know Invincible was in there? How can you see it?
Yes.
Invincible, not invisible, though.
No, that's the joke. Anyway,
It's a joke.
I know.
Congrats to Gusty for getting Memron's Head and Invincible for
Nice.
Esme. Also,
Congrats.
10.1.7 Fury Incarnate dropped this week with the Emerald Dream themed events happening in the on the main map of the Dragonflight area. Make sure you participate in those. And of course, with their patch cadence just spitting out content, patch 10.2 is already on the PTR with previews of the next raid and Mythic Plus rotation. And yes, we are going to the Emerald Dream. Yay.
I wouldn't know it because I've been too busy playing Starfield.
Yep, exactly. And Lars, what's going on in WoW Classic?
So we're still active in Classic Wrath, but we're waiting for the return of our dear guild leader and his hand cooperating with him and going back. Plus, they're kind of nerding out on Baldur's Gate. Our Discord for Wrath of Lich King has really become the Baldur's Gate Discord and complete nerding out on it. Hundreds and hundreds of hours played. So Ice Cream Citadel is on the test servers. It will be dropping probably in a few weeks, I would think. Random Dungeon Finder is coming after they said it would never come. It would never come. It would never come. It's actually coming in the patch that it originally released in Wrath back in the day. But there's actually some new changes. There's account-wide mounts, pets, toys, and heirlooms and all that stuff will be dropping in that patch as well, which wasn't something we got until Cataclysm before. So that's going on. And then AIE is active on Horde side of Defias Pillager, which is currently, we have about 38 guild members, usually about 5 people online. Not lots of deaths, a few deaths to report. One guild member is more death prone than others. Some of us are just very, 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 very cautious and stay away from Thunder Bluff.
I'm hoping you mean characters and not actual guild members.
Yeah. There's no guild members dead yet.
Sure.
Yet.
We're
We're not there. And
Okay.
so, but if your character does die, the plan is just send them on to Mankrik, and then we'll gather all our deaths there, because you get a free transfer to a different server on Classic. And then we're working towards the first dungeon. A bunch of us are around level 17 or 18 and getting just a little bit over leveled enough to jump into Ragefire Chasm and see if we don't die at all. And that should be fun.
Yes.
There's a separate WoW Classic Hardcore chat channel and a voice channel there that I think, Tats, you came up with the name of Hardcore Last Words. I wasn't sure if that was you or Matt.
I created it, but it was based on, I thought, your suggestion or somebody's suggestion in there. So, yeah. I just
But it's
created
been fun.
the channel.
Thanks for people who created the guild. We got it started, I think, the Monday after it launched. SEMA came up with 10 silver to sign the guild charter. And silver is hard to come by. If you don't remember, it's classic.
Mhm.
It's
Yeah.
really hard. People were asking, when are we going to have the guild logo for the tabards? And I was, 10 gold. It's 10 gold. It'll be a
Literally
while.
pinching pennies or pinching copper.
So we're having fun.
And so, what do you level up to 30 or 40 levels above a dungeon before you risk it? Is that how it works?
Yeah, just two. Well, the other thing is you can go in with over amount of people as well. You could go in with more than 5 up to 10.
Oh, that's good.
wow.
That helps.
So that's the other option. So if someone
that's
dies, there's a backup tank.
I was going to say, that's just more room for chaos.
Yeah.
One tank dies, another one goes.
Tank died, run!
I'm pretty sure that's the name of AIE. More room for chaos.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So there was
but it's been fun.
So the first level 60 on hardcore I read was a gnome frost wizard that used an AoE
Of course.
build to just gather stuff up and nuke it down for experience. And there's already been a clear of molten core.
Yes, last week I think.
Crazy. Just nuts.
Yeah, it's just nuts. So
Wow.
It just
the
yeah.
YouTubes are
I've
fun to
never-
watch death scenes, and there's all sorts of fun stuff. And when you're running around, the bodies stay on the ground.
yeah.
So have some
Yeah,
chat as you're walking by them.
I could never do this.
No.
It's different.
It's just
I bet,
amazing
yeah.
to me looking at classic hardcore or just classic in general, how fast they're clearing like the raids and stuff and going, what, because this is, an equivalent. And then you look at what they were doing on the private servers with the same code essentially and the same and content and just going, it's all experience. It's just knowing the fight and exactly what to do. It wasn't that those fights were hard. It was that no one knew what to do until they figured them out.
Right.
Then once you figured it out, then it's just, it's a routine. So
There's still random mechanics that will one-shot you. So
Oh, yeah.
it's still,
But
that one shot is you're done.
Oh yeah,
You're not
exactly.
pressing.
Yeah, you're dead. See you later. But it's just interesting to me, like how, how these people can just clear it with no deaths. It's just like, I mean, that used to be the thing with Nax Ramos. Well, there was an Undying achievement, and it was always, what was it? The dance.
Oh, yeah.
What is his name?
The safety dance?
The Hagen dance. Yes. That was the one that people would intentionally just, like, I'm not joining in this fight because I will die. And they would do it with less people because they could still do it, but they didn't want to risk the Undying title.
Right.
At that time.
You didn't want to be the one that died. And that's been the fun thing about grouping is Redrum, one of our AIE officers, was saying, I'd be interested, but I don't want to be the healer that lets the tank shot.
Exactly.
I volunteered to tank, and it doesn't matter if we
Yeah.
die, whatever. We'll just roll. The venture is fun, and you're not so worried about the end game. It's a blast. It's really different though the way you play.
We're gonna do a five-person dungeon with 2 tanks, 1 DPS, and 2 healers. Got it.
There
Yeah.
you go. There you go.
All right. Cool. Well, we will talk more about that in the game discussion. Mew, what's going on in SOTOR?
Well, it looks like it was inaugural week of Mixed Bag Fridays, whatever that all means. Wow. We had a good turnout for Master Mode Flashpoints. Next week, they'll be back for Get Some Fun, or Galactic Starfighter, as it's actually called.
Oh, yeah, GFS, yeah.
This week's MFN was a celebration of Vienna and Early Planet won by the Total Galactic War. So congrats to them. Winning comes from guildies working together to earn points, and it all adds up no matter how small the number. And a special mention goes to Strike Zone for turning out a really glorious total of points. The Wednesday night ops team has an open DPS spot if you are interested. They run story mode operations and are very new to operations, and they're very friendly to people that are new to operations.
Yes.
Excellent. All right, in an ESO news, they'll be venturing in the trials again and taking advantage of the Undaunted event reward by running dungeons as a group. Also, zone clears, trials if possible, helping people's farm gear, completing dungeons, and just in general, having fun. And ladies and gentlemen and children of all ages, starting on Monday, October 2nd, 2023, they'll be having Tales of Tribute Tournament number 4. The tournament will run for 4 weeks, and games per week will be determined on the amount of entrants that are involved. Sign up for TOTT4 is all you need to do is respond to the post in the Tales channel or DM Kramer29 on Discord. They're still working on the prize list that will fall on in a few days. Sign-ups are now open. So looking at the general prizes, they range between 1.5 million and half a million. From 1 to 10 places. Of course, prizes will be adjusted if more than 10 additional places. If they get more than 10 additional places. So basically, that's going to vary on how many attendees there are. But from what I hear, it's a great time. And Kramer, thank you for running these because I know it's a good time is had by y'all.
All right. Give me just a second. Okay. Something was getting caught up with OBS. I will check that later. I think we're still good. All right, let me just double. Yep, we're good.
And the ice cream man's outside.
Yes, and the ice cream man is outside. All right, back to the notes.
Ice cream.
Ice cream Citadel.
In STO news, yeah, exactly. The Fed fleet is working on the major upgrade for the morale branch of the colony. That will be its final upgrade and allow them to unlock the Kantari engineer bridge officers. They have a bit more work to do on the infrastructure branch, but it too is nearing its final project. KDF fleet is closing in on Tier 3 of the Starbase, Tier 2 of the Spire, and Tier 1 of the Research Lab. Plan is to focus more on the Starbase and Spire while getting other holdings to Tier 1 so they can stack some provisions. If you have a friend in another fleet that has unlocked goods you wish to purchase, they will have provisions for you to use.
All right, Mew, what's going on in Final Fantasy 14?
Can you see what the kitty was up to? But in the Final Fantasy 14, looks like the next big patch we're expecting is patch 6.5. We're thinking early October. I don't know if they have an official date yet, but there's a lot of stuff going on until then. But if you have not caught up on the main scenario quests, it's the one coming for 6.5 is Growing Light. There is going to be a new Alliance raid dungeon, Myths of the Realm Part 3, which should be the final part. There's going to be a new dungeon called the Lunar Subterrane. There's a new trial called the Abyssal Fracture. The stuff we're currently working on is the Rising event has started. The Rising is their anniversary event. This is year 10, and it does gift a mount. So if you're into mount collecting, this is one to get into. And the Rising event, for those not familiar, is kind of their, hey, thanks for letting us survive this long. It's been amazing. Thank you, yada yada. And then the other thing going on is they're doing irregular Moogle tomes, and there's a very large prize pool this time around. So if you feel like grinding some dungeons for some easy Moogle tomes, then now is the time to do it. But both of those events end whenever 6.5 hits, so jump on in.
Awesome. All right. And in Guild Wars 2 news, Dungeons and More Knights brought some tunes to the Heart of the Thorn area to grab some XP towards the mastery points and trying to upgrade the gliding. At the same time, grab some hero points for alts. Also had an expansion drop since last podcast that we hear has a great story to tell.
Give me just a second. Sorry.
Do you want me to go ahead and grab that next part, babe, while you deal with that?
Nope, I got it. All right.
All right.
And in Lord of the Rings Online, there's some great stuff going on in Lord of the Rings Online. If you're a VIP now through October 10th, Daily Gold Hobbit presents. Lord of the Rings Online is also celebrating the Baggins' birthday starting on September 20th in Rivendell. There's some fun going on during Saturday Night Lotro, so come on in and join the fun. To wrap up with a shameless plug, stop by and say hi to Mei Lung Tuesday nights at 8 p.m. Central, a.k.a. Max Time, on the Lord of the Rings Online stream.
All right. And with that, let's get back to Lars to talk about what's going on in WoW Classic and WoW Classic Hardcore.
So it has been hopping, definitely. So I'm getting back to the news. So Hardcore Realms for Classic dropped. August 24th was the date, and so it's about 2.5 weeks have been going on. There's 2 realms for North America, which is appropriately called Defias, Pillager, and Skull Rock, which I found hilarious. Mm-hmm. And then 2 for the EU, which is Necrosh and Stitches. Fun numbers, 90,000 character deaths, not player deaths, were on the first 24 hours of the Hardcore Realms. And then just about a weekend on September 1st, Blizzard sent some stats. Average level of death is 10. Top 3 races are human, night elf, and undead. Top 5 classes are warrior, which I find bizarro because it's the hardest one to level.
100%.
But you can't.
But
heal
the
yourself
ones that are looking for
right?
end game are wanting to be warrior because it's the ideal tank and DPS. So that's interesting there. Hunter obviously is number 2, and then mage, AOE, frostiness. Rogue and priest, and then the top 5 causes of death, which is the funnest thing, is the death scenes and watching YouTube for deaths and the memes of people last words at death. Cobalt Miner, typical. Falling is number 2. PvP, where you can go for Mawcrush and collect ears, which is a fun part of the new hardcore setup, and then Voidwalker Minion and Wendigo. So a lot of things happening in hardcore, and it seems to be going. I was watching some videos recently of very popular YouTubers about Classic, and it's still running like 10 layers on each realm. It's hopping. You go into towns, and it is busy. So it's kind of interesting. We think it's gonna fade out, but when?
I mean, it's kind of like WoW Elden Ring or WoW Souls game. Like there are people that are really into that harder way of doing things. Right. It's more rewarding to them if they have to struggle.
Right. So. And it spun out of the hardcore community that was doing it themselves before. And there was a lot of speculation of, this isn't real hardcore because you can use the bank and you can trade and everything else. But the people who want to do the solo self-found, as they call it, the SSF, you can still do that. You can install the plugin and do it. And I'm actually going to try that on a priest alt that I have rolled. But the other ones, I'm just doing their standard roll set on these realms. Fun having the death log plugin installed.
Oh my gosh, I bet.
You just keep hearing a beep, beep. Someone died in Razor Hill, whatever, falling off Thunder Bluff.
Yep.
Yeah. I'm honestly surprised that PvP is 3rd. Like, that just
I think people are sacrificing
often
themselves to streamers, and who knows? I mean,
100%.
Yeah.
Dueling in front of Orgrimmar.
Yeah. I got someone just kept trying to just go away.
Yeah.
Just go away.
The ignore feature.
Were they a troll?
Yeah.
It sounds like it.
So here's the fun thing too is so if you got the death log or the hardcore add-on, you can see things pop up when people die. And that one who was insisting to duel me, they died about 5 minutes later.
Well, good. So clearly they had a death. I don't know. Maybe.
Durotar.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
So that's fun.
That is insane. That's a really neat experiment, though, and it's fun that so many people are kind of getting involved. And
we weren't sure if it was going to spin up because people were asking for months, and then we just decided to do it. Enough of us joined. And a lot of it were thank you officers and other guildies who just basically logged in to sign the guild charter, get it going.
Yeah, because it's not
big.
like retail where it's 4 signatures. It's like 10, isn't it?
Yeah, you need 9 signatures. And one of the signatories died before we managed to get the guild.
Yes.
That happened.
Oh my God.
But it's still active. It still stays on the roll call.
So it was in their will. Got it.
Because
Yes.
it's account based.
Exactly.
Sign this before you die.
Exactly.
The thing I was worried about, I was like, oh, I better not die before I get this guild charter finished.
Right, exactly.
So I made sure that character was
Oh, that's
safe.
Funny.
Yeah.
Or else I would have lost the 10 silver.
Did you make like a bank alt
Lot.
and then promote that to the guild master?
Now my bank alt, yes, is the guild master and sits in the
you're retired now.
Orgrimmar
You sit in the corner.
Yeah. Doesn't
Because
even
when
go
you
near the
die-
elevators. You stay on the ground floor.
Right.
Yes.
And if the guild master dies, you automatically get a pop-up to transfer to the guild ownership to someone.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
But I thought I'd just play it safe.
Exactly. Like, sit find a nice little cushioned office and stay there.
Yeah.
Yep. One other interesting thing that comes up when you join the game, so come and join us, is you get this pop-up that appears when you first log in or create your character, and it gives you this big warning about, do not call us. If you die, you're dead. There's no petitions, no nothing. And it actually has another phrase at the bottom that says, any griefers will be severely punished. So it's a new little pop-up that comes in when you log into these hardcore realms.
Oh, well, that makes sense, though. That makes sense because, if you have people out there who are trying to cause that to other characters on purpose,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they've done things to avoid like chain leashing mobs. They've done some tweaks to the system. You can't easily PvP accidentally by right-clicking on someone.
Oh, that's
Or-
great.
type
Or
in.
Absolutely
accidentally
have done
healing
that.
them. Yeah.
Yeah.
You also
it's-
can't drag the dragons from wherever
The
they are.
leashes are much shorter.
Yeah, so you can't kite things to Orgrimmar or Stormwind or anything like that.
Mhm. Yeah,
That's
and
how
you
you
learn
kill a lot of bank
don't
elves.
go in caves, don't go in towers, and all
Right,
those kind
right.
of
No,
yeah,
if you're
tricks.
going to go in a cave, you go forward, and when you get to the end,
Yeah,
you
and
gotta
then you hearth at the
out.
end.
Don't try it. No. Mm-mm.
No.
The back spawns will kill you.
yeah.
Yep. Fun stuff. We've been having a blast.
That's great.
Come join us.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a really interesting. And the thing I like is if your character dies, because people go, well, what happens if you have like a level 40 character that dies? They're just gone. No, because you can transfer them.
Yeah,
Transfer them off to another server, so your time spent isn't truly
good.
wasted.
No, you get transferred to any. I don't think if it's any. It's a classic server. It's not going to be Wrath of the Lich King progression. It'll be one of the classic era servers, and we're choosing Mankrik as a guild to collect our dusty dead alts.
All right. So Mankirk's the guild graveyard.
Yes.
Now, for the transfer, do you have to pay for the transfer? How does that?
No, it's free.
Nope.
Okay, cool.
It's
Nope,
free.
It's an
Yeah,
automatic.
I haven't died yet, so I haven't experienced this, but we have some guildies who are expert at this by now.
All right. Mankirk graveyard.
And a lot of people are starting to do the this is classic hardcore character 1, classic hardcore character 2 in Roman numerals. So you see people
Lars
running
1, Lars 2, Lars 3.
You'll see people running around with like XIII, and you're like, God, you're just committed, aren't you?
Yeah. This is why I wouldn't have.
You do not AFK. You do
No.
not log out in just random locations because you can log back in and be
Oh my
surrounded
God,
by
yep.
mobs. There's all sorts of
Absolutely.
things that I'm sure kills people when they go AFK.
Yeah.
You probably can't even go AFK when you're on a flight mount. Like you might
because you
arrive
land
into a battle. Yeah,
Exactly.
They've supposedly patch fixed that because that was a classic bug in
Yeah.
vanilla. Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Been
All
fun.
right. Very cool. Well, unless you have anything else, I think that is actually our show tonight. Lars, thank you for joining us.
No, thank you for the invite. It's been a blast.
Always. You're always welcome. While the chat room starts suggesting titles, let's go ahead and go over all the bookkeeping.
All right. If you have a question or comment about our show, you can email us at podcast@aie-guild.org. You can find the AIA Discord and other non-Twitter social media. We record live with video every other Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. You can join the chat room and play along with our website at aie-guild.org/podcast-live-stream and look for the link to our Discord server on aieguild.org, ia-guild.org. For past episodes, you can find them on our YouTube channel. Just look for the AIE Podcast, all one word. Our theme was composed by the amazing Andrew Allen. Follow him at Keys with Soul if he's still on Twitter. Look for him on other social media by probably Andrew Allen or Keys with Soul, or just visit his website, andrewallenmusic.com.
There we go.
We don't have any member segments this week, but if we did, this is where they would be.
All right. And next time, we'll be talking to the new guild leader of the Mankirk Guild. Just kidding.
Wow. Wow.
So Lars is welcome back. Anyways, so until then, AIE. Lars.
You didn't warn him, did you?
I forgot to
No,
warn
you
you.
didn't.
This is you.
No, I missed my cue. Oh, I'm so bad.
That's okay. I'll
Okay.
edit
This
it
is
in.
Lars.
It's new. So,
This is Lars reporting from Mankirk.
this is Makala.
This is Tetsemi.
This is Bukout.
And this has been the AIE Podcast.
Oh, I didn't die. Good.
Yay!
Yay. You survived the podcast.
Yes.
I'm still running hardcore in the background, but I'm like,
Oh, that's crazy.
Oh my God.
Oh, I see.
So you're
I was
telling me you're basically a hardcore player.
Yes.
I was leveling up with stabs, so yeah.
Oh, that's the
Hardcore
that's the
AFK.
other thing. Like trying.
level up your defense skills.
Yes.
all
Oh
of
my
these things.
God.
That's the big thing we forgot because like a lot of people that play casters and stuff will just never get hit.
You'll get
And the
crushing
problem
blowed.
is, as soon as a character gets near you and you have no defense, crushing blow and you're dead. Like one
You're
shot.
done.
Yeah.
Even
And
though
they're
the
the same
mob may
level
be
as you.
5 levels below you, they're still going to get
Your
in a crushing
effective
blow.
level is down at your defense level. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
So-
You see hunters sitting in Durotar just letting scorpions chew on them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And people go to save them and they're like, no!
Yeah, I've done that. I'm the one who's saving. He's like, leave me alone.
Yeah. So,
I'm level 42.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's crazy.
stuff.
I just forgot about the defense stat until somebody brought it up, and I'm like, oh yeah.
You
that
forget
would-
about it
that
till you
would
get
suck.
crushing blowed.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, there's all these little tips you gotta
Yeah.
figure out.
Yeah.
I guess that's why some of those higher levels are getting killed.
Insane. Oh my gosh.
It's kind of cool.
It is.
Kinda
It is
cool.
really neat.
It's a different experience, and
Yeah.
and like Seema often says, it's like it's your comfort food. Just walking through Azeroth.
Yeah. I'm gonna steal
Done it a
Seema's
million
comment
times.
for a show title
Yeah, that's
suggestion.
a really good one, actually.
Ugh.
Oh, I hadn't been watching.
Mandini.
I like the don't podcast and play hardcore at the same time.
I do. I actually, yeah. I was loving that too. I don't know if that was a podcast suggestion or a.
When
title
Windows
suggestion, but I
crashed, I
really
was
liked
really
it.
worried. I was like,
Oh,
oh, no.
I'm
no.
sad. Oh my gosh.
Yes.
I started up the
Fun.
stream before I started up WoW, but yeah, I didn't
But
die.
still.
I was
Now,
in
are you
Mulgar, I
playing?
was fine.
Are you playing WoW on Windows or are you playing it on Linux?
Usually on Linux, but the only reason I switched over to Windows is because I don't think I can get the background in Discord like we're doing now. I wanted to do that. So I
it
put
doesn't.
it into Windows quickly to check if it worked, and it worked, so I stayed here.
Gotcha.
But no, I'm almost never in Windows. It's just here for my boys playing video games on the Windows
Yeah.
side. But no, everything runs. Like Diablo 4 runs, Baldur's Gate runs, everything I'm playing runs just beautifully. And thanks to this Steam Deck.
Yep.
Nice.
Yeah. If you
Done
want to
a
hear
lot
a good
for Linux
discussion
gaming.
about Lars and his teaching Linux and why he recommends Linux and all that, listen to the most recent show he did with
Newer Worlds.
Max and X and Seema. Yeah.
Yeah, I talked a little bit about that on that episode.
Yep. Cool.
Fun times.
All right.
Good to see y'all.
Thank you very much. We appreciate that.
you.
Thank
Oh,
you for
and here-
volunteering.
Yes. And here are our podcast suggestions, or title suggestions. Don't podcast and play HC at the same time.
Where's the
Azeroth,
HC Graveyard?
yes, I like the Where's the HC Graveyard? Azeroth, your mac and cheese of games, and where's the HC Graveyard again?
Yeah.
Man, Kirk.
Where's my
Oh,
spirit
man.
healer?
Or I should have rolled a bank alt.
Exactly.
Oh, man. Fun times.
All right.
In fact, I'm not very good at that. I've still got too much stuff on my main. I should be mailing it more. But it's like 30 copper for each thing you attach. It's like a lot
Yeah,
of
that's
money.
a
Yeah, it's a
lot.
lot of money. So, all right. Well, thank you, chat room. We will
Thank you, guys.
definitely see
and
you in 2 weeks. We'll have hopefully news
yep.
on.
2 weeks.
Yeah, I may try and get someone from Final Fantasy 14 on because we should, with an early October release, we should have some more news on 6.5. So maybe we can talk about that. So,
Yeah,
Excellent, yeah.
that'd be good.
all right.